weekend classic.
In the fraternity of NBA players, the yardstick they use to measure greatness is rather simple. It's a championship ring. Michael Jordan was in his 7th year before he won the first of his 6 championships. In the spring of '67, Wilt Chamberlain was in his 8th season, still without a title, because beginning with his rookie season, the Boston Celtics had won 8 straight titles. So by the spring of 1967, Bill Russell had 9 rings, and Fred Carter. This rivalry, Russ, Chamberlain, Boston, Philly, was a potboiler at full strength as we join this action.
And Bob, it was really boiling over, and after all, everybody was watching the clash of the Titans, the big man game, how they played down in the paint. No one was concerned about how the game was played around the perimeter. They're watching to see these 2 big guys go at it. I watched it. I was a sophomore in college at the time, rooting for the big fella.
Watch it from Mount St. Mary's. So in '67, Chamberlain still thirsting for that first title. The road to the NBA championship went right through the Celtics. Sixers won the first 3 games of these Eastern Finals, but they are trailing here in Game 4 at halftime, 66-60. We'll be joining ABC Sports coverage. Interestingly, there was an announcer strike, so the producer and the director for the game are actually calling the game. Chet Forte and Chuck Howard are your announcers, and Chet Forte, a former collegiate player of the year from his days at Columbia, they're on the call as we join.
Center jump. Start of the second half. Boston leading by 6, 66-60. Chamberlain controls the tap to Wally Jones. Wally without a field goal in the first half. Chet Walker. Beautiful maneuvering by Walker for that shot. Boston 66, Philadelphia 62. Sam Jones being guarded by Wally Jones. Into Bill Russell. Sam. Oh, you can't give Sam those shots. Not today, anyway. Boston up by 6, 68-62. Sam Jones, 21st point. Hal Greer into Chamberlain. Chamberlain forced to take that fadeaway jump today. Out to Havlicek. Whoa! Boston ball. Siegfried will take it out for Boston. Boston leading 68-62. Official time here.
Sam Jones looked like he got shook up on the last play, Chad.
Yeah, I see a trainer out there talking to Sam. There's Bill Russell, number 6 player coach, huddled around Sam Jones, number 24, and there's Siegfried, 20. And there's the Boston trainer. Sam seems to be going over the bench now. Be a terrific blow for Boston if Sam is injured here. And Sam's coming out of the ball game. Sam with 21 points so far is replaced by K.C. Jones. Maybe we can check on that injury. There's Sam. As Sam is headed to the locker room, and that doesn't look too good. As Bailey Howell takes the ball in. Havlicek misses. Howe with the rebound. Out to Russell. Siegfried. Lucius Jackson with the rebound. Fouled by Havlicek. The backcourt foul. Havlicek's 3rd personal foul. And Lucius will go to the line. Lucius Jackson with 20 points so far and 7 rebounds. Chuck, we better keep an eye out for Sam Jones because that'll certainly be significant in this game today. Sam with 21 points so far is headed right at the present time. He's in the Boston dressing room. Jackson hits. Boston ahead by 5, 68-63. We're trying right now to get a report on exactly what's wrong with Sam Jones. Could be a crucial blow for the Celtics here if Sam wouldn't be able to get back in this ball game. Boston 68, Philadelphia 64. K.C. Jones to Bailey Howell, number 18. Havlicek to Bailey. Bailey foul by Wally Jones. That's Wally's 4th personal foul. There's Wally, number 24. Bailey Howell, 2 shots. Bailey with 7 points so far today. He'll try another. Boston up by 4. Wally Jones, Chet Walker. Beautiful block by Havlicek. Havlicek now on offense. Bailey Howell all alone. No good. Jackson again. What a game Lucius Jackson's playing. Off to Wally Jones, number 24. Into the low post to Chamberlain. Offensive foul. Chet Walker, offensive foul. Havlicek all alone. And he scores. Philadelphia not ready on defense that time, and Havlicek just snuck down and got an easy 2 points. Boston now leading by 6, 70-64. Little lapse on the Philadelphia defense that time. Long pass into Chamberlain. Whoa, beautiful. Chamberlain with a dunk shot. Boston up by 4. Bailey Howell. Foul on Jackson. Howell go to the line. That's Lucius' second personal foul. He doesn't seem too happy about that. There you see in the background Alex Hannum, the coach of Philadelphia, up off the bench. Chamberlain getting into the argument now. Guess he doesn't understand that foul.
Chet, here comes Sam Jones, who's just come out of the locker room and is entering the game. Waiting for this foul shot.
Good by Bailey. There's Sam Jones back in the ball game, replacing KC. Well, I guess Sam is all right. Boston now leading by 5. Bailey Howell. Bailey's 9th point, putting Boston up by 6 points, 72-66. 9 minutes remaining in the third quarter. A must game for the Boston Celtics. Beautiful shot by Wally Jones. Beautiful hook shot by Wally. Boston leading by 4, 72-68. Wally's 7th point. Havlicek into Russell. Siegfried. Beautiful shot. Goaltending. Goaltending against Chamberlain. Basket good. 74-68, Boston. Wally Jones.
Chet, we just got the word from the dressing room that Sam Jones twisted the outside of his right ankle. Apparently not serious, though, because he's back in the game, as you pointed out.
Boston leading by 6 points. We're in the third quarter. Siegfried fouled by Greer. That's Greer's 4th personal foul. Now the Philadelphia backcourt is in trouble. Wally Jones with 4 personal fouls and Hal Greer with 4.
Even more trouble, Chet, because Alex Hannum only has 1 backcourt man on the bench. Larry Costello is hurt, Bill Melchioni is in the Army, and Matt Gukas is the only substitute backcourt man that's on the bench.
Well, Chuck, he could use Bob Weiss from Penn State. There is a possibility, another rookie in the NBA this year. But Bob certainly hasn't had too much experience. This will be a tough ball game to get into right now. Boston up by 8, 76-68. Chamberlain. Chamberlain taps it in. Great follow shot by Wilt Chamberlain. Boston up by 6. Havlicek. Russell, great rebound. Bailey Howell. Bailey fouled. Wally Jones, that foul was on Wally Jones. That's Wally's 5th personal foul. 1 more foul and Wally will be out of this game. I see Matt Gukas getting up off the bench for Philadelphia. He'll probably be in for Wally any minute. Here comes Gukas in. Wally Jones going out. Wally a tough day so far. 5 personal fouls. There's Gukas who replaced him, number 14 for Philadelphia. Bailey Howell missed his first personal foul. 1 more shot. Boston leading by 6 points. 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. No good. Matt Gukas, who replaced Wally Jones with the ball, number 14. Philadelphia backcourt in trouble now. Wally Jones, 5 fouls. Hal Greer, 4. Into Chamberlain. Chamberlain again underneath. Great shot by Chamberlain. Chamberlain's 12th point. Boston ahead by 4. Sam Jones. Lucius Jackson with the rebound.
That's Lucius Jackson's 11th rebound, Chad. He's doing a great job on scoring and rebounding.
Philadelphia may go a little more to Chamberlain now, Chuck, with Gukas replacing Wally Jones. Stolen by Havlicek. Havlicek, a 3-on-2 break to Bailey Howell. Beautiful shot by Bailey. Boston up by 6, 78-72. Lucius Jackson. Chet Walker, 25. Great jump shot. Walker, 4-point lead for the Celtics. Havlicek. Goaltending again on Chamberlain. Goaltending on Chamberlain. Basket good by Havlicek. Havlicek's 17th point. Boston leading by 6 points, 80-74. Chet Walker, 25. Walker, short. Gukas saved it, but to Russell. Boston really breaking now. Bailey Howell puts Boston ahead by 8 points. Boston crowd is going crazy here. There's timeout here at the Boston Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. With the score, Boston 82, Philadelphia 74.
Look out, motorists. Old Man Winter's out to get you.
You're cold and
ESPN Classic.
There's a Celtic team now up by 8 points in the ball game. Led out by the player coach, Bill Russell. Here comes the Philadelphia team. The Philadelphia team now in a little trouble in the backcourt with Wally Jones on the bench at the present time, replaced by Matt Gukas, number 14, a rookie from St. Joe's. Wally's got 5 personal fouls. Hal Greer, who'll be taking the ball in right now for Philadelphia, has 4 personal fouls.
Third quarter shooting percentages, Chet. Boston 6 of 11 for 55%. Philly 6 of 12 for 50%.
Matt Gukas, 14, Philadelphia. Lucius Jackson. Stolen by Jones.
Chet, as you mentioned, Philadelphia is going to have trouble, and one of the things they've started to do, Boston started to do, is a full court press. Wally Jones was the man who beat this maneuver earlier in the season. He's on the bench.
Bill Russell. Offensive foul. Sam Jones. Sorry, that offensive foul was on Bailey Howell. Howell's 3rd personal foul. Hal Greer with the ball. Boston leading by 8 points. Into Chamberlain. Matt Gukas. Hal Greer. Greer hits. Boston 82, Philadelphia 76. Greer's 20th point. Lucius Jackson with the rebound. 4.5 minutes remaining in the third period. Chet Walker. Hal Greer missed. Siegfried with the ball. Sam Jones. Siegfried. Havlicek. Havlicek hits. Boston up by 8, 84-76. Into Chamberlain. Chamberlain misses. Siegfried. Gukas. Chamberlain. Chet Walker. Basket is good by Chamberlain. A fantastic tap in by Wilt. Left-handed tap in by Wilt Chamberlain, cutting the Boston lead to 8 points, and Russell fouled Chamberlain on that play. Russell's third personal foul. There's timeout here at the Boston Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, with the score Boston 86, Philadelphia 78.
Hey, man, how come every time I call you, you're on the phone?
Who was your favorite of all those?
O'Neal, Shap, one-on-one, Monday at 6:30, only on ESPN Classic.
This is ESPN Classic.
Chamberlain at the foul line. Good foul shot by Chamberlain. Boston leads by 7 points, 86-79. Good block. Matt Gukas all alone. Philadelphia now behind by 5 points, 86-81. Siegfried. 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Bill Russell to the cutting Bailey Howell, a great shot. Good pass off by Russell. Boston leads by 7, 88-81. Walker, no good. Russell. Sam Jones, 24 for Boston. Sam lost it. The Philadelphia ball. Billy Cunningham, number 32. Stolen by Howell. Havlicek. Boston leading by 9 points, 90-81. Havlicek's 21st point. Into Chamberlain. Billy Cunningham. Stolen by Havlicek. Sam Jones missed it. Siegfried missed the follow-up. Philadelphia with the ball. Chet Walker. Good drive by Chet. Boston now leading 90-83. Havlicek missed it. Russell tried to tap it in. He's fouled by Billy Cunningham. That's Cunningham's fourth personal foul.
Chet, I'd like to talk a moment about John Havlicek, who has played the entire game. Normally not a starter, the sixth man. He has not been out of the game. He's scored 21 points. He's led their fast break. He's rebounded. He really has played an outstanding game for Boston today.
Here comes a rookie from Oregon, Jim Barnett, replacing Larry Siegfried. Barnett, there he is, a rookie from the University of Oregon, number 11, in the game for the Celtics. Russell misses the first shot. He'll have one more shot. Boston leading by 7 points, 90-83. Russell hits. Boston leads by 8, 91-83. There's a foul by Barnett, number 11. One shot for Hal Greer. That's Barnett's first personal foul, and only Boston's third team foul here in the third quarter with 3.5 minutes remaining to play. Greer's 21st point. Boston leads 91-84. Blocked by Greer into Cunningham's hands. There's another foul by Jim Barnett, his second. Greer again will go to the line.
Those are what they call strategy fouls, Chet. We have just slightly more than 2 minutes left. And when we're not inside the 2-minute period, therefore Boston can afford to give up 1 point to get 2.
Siegfried replaces Barnett. Greer misses. Sam Jones. Boston leading by 7 points, 91-84. Havlicek misses. Chet Walker. Basket is no good. Offensive foul on Chet Walker. That's Walker's third personal foul. The basket's no good. Philadelphia rather unhappy about that one. There's Alex Hannum off the bench. 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Boston leading by 7 points. Officials timeout. Something was thrown on the court here. Underneath the, there you are, referee Mendy Rudolph. Something thrown on the floor here. Quickly run down the scoring. Philadelphia, Jackson with 22, Greer with 21, Walker with 15, Chamberlain 14. Leading scorers for Boston, Sam Jones 23, Havlicek 21, Howell 15, Siegfried 17. Boston leading by 7 points, 91-84. Leading rebounders, Chamberlain with 14 rebounds, Jackson, Lucius Jackson with 12, Russell, the leading Boston rebounder, with 15. Little housekeeping being done here at the Boston Garden. Back in play. Sam Jones to Havlicek. Bailey Howell, Siegfried. Russell with the rebound, blocked by Chamberlain. That's going to be a foul on Bailey Howell. All over Wilt on that play. That's Bailey Howell's fourth personal foul. As we said again, Wally Jones, who's been a bulwark for the Philadelphia team in the first 3 playoff games, right now sitting on a bench with 5 personal fouls. Boston leading by 7 points. Chamberlain to the foul line. Chamberlain so far, 15 points, 15 rebounds. Sat Sanders in the game, number 16 for Boston, replacing Howell. Wilt Chamberlain, most valuable player in the National Basketball Association this year. Siegfried, number 20. Sam Jones. Matt Gukas with the ball. 2-on-1 fast break to Greer. Beautiful driving layup by Howell, cutting Boston's lead to 5 points, 91-86. One minute remaining in the third quarter. Havlicek. Billy Cunningham. Hal Greer. Walker. Sanders with the rebound. 30 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Sam Jones misses. Out of bounds. Philadelphia ball. 30 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Cunningham fouled by Sanders. Cunningham going to the line. Boston leading 91-86. Penalty situation at Sanders' fourth personal foul. Boston now over the limit with team fouls. That's their 6th team foul. Cunningham to get 3 shots to make 2. Missed the first. Cunningham today only 2 points for Philadelphia. There's Wally Jones in the center of your screen. 5 personal fouls. Cunningham hits the second. Boston lead now 4 points. Boston lead now 3 points. Boston leading 91-88. 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Boston looking for probably the last shot here. Havlicek. 10 seconds remaining. Sanders. No good. Havlicek. Blocked out of bounds. There's 3 seconds remaining in the third quarter. 3 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Boston leading 91-88.
It's time. Time for your heartburn to kick in because your heartburn relief gave out. It happens 2 or more days a week, even though you've treated it and changed your diet. That frequent...
Are you old school? This is ESPN Classic.
Welcome back to A Giant Legacy. We'll get back to Game 4 in just a second with the Celtics up by 3. The modern NBA, when you look at rivalries, really looks at Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, going back to 1979. But before that, this league and this entire game was defined by these two men, Chamberlain and Russell. About 3 years ago, the NBA named its greatest 50 players. Obviously, they were on the list. David Aldridge had a chance to sit down with them, and you can see, feel, and hear the mutual professional respect that is so deep, as well as their friendship.
As a basketball player, and what makes you good in basketball, there are certain number of things you do. And no one has come close to doing those things. I took pride in playing defense. Well, if he comes in there and get 55 or 60 points, I don't look too good defensively. I hear about all of his attributes. He's tall and he's strong and he's handsome.
Handsome, yes, but definitely. Don't leave that out because I'm still single.
Yeah. But the thing to me, one of the single most important things about playing against him was he's a very intelligent basketball player. You could not, at least I could not play him the same way 2 games in a row. You have no idea how many guys that I could play the same way against time and time.
That is astonishing, and what's more astonishing, you had a chance to have a similar conversation.
And it was interesting, and I could feel that friendship and that bond between those two big fellas. It was up in the wine area. Actually, it was a Coaches Association meeting in San Francisco, and we sat out and had lemonade and lunch, and the two big guys laughing and cackling, and I could feel it. I'd rather been a fly on the wall, but believe me, that will always remain in my mind and in my heart.
Who bought?
I had kangaroo arms.
But these were friends. I mean, the great story was that in 1 year, Russell demanded $1 more in his contract than Wilt, and Red Auerbach certainly gave it to him. We're going to get back in just a second to the fourth quarter of Game 4 of the Eastern Finals of 1967. Chamberlain and Russell head-to-head.
Crisp, cool mornings. Uncrowded layouts designed by the leading architects of the game. Uncanny affordability year-round. Ranked in the top 10 U.S. golf destinations by Golf Digest. Hurry to Mobile. The birdies are waiting. You can walk right into the pages of history. Stand on the ramparts of a colonial outpost. You can encounter real heroes and learn again the true dimensions of the human spirit. You can journey to a realm that...
ESPN Classic. Are you old school? This is ESPN Classic.
Boston Celtics leading the Philadelphia 76ers 91-88. Possibly the end of an era today for the Celtics. No team has ever lost 3 games, the first 3 games in a 7-game series in playoffs, and ever come back to win that playoff, Chuck.
That's true, Chad. As we said, era is the exact correct word that you used there. Boston has been the champion of the National Basketball Association since 1958, and they are certainly on the verge right now of extinction by this very powerful Philadelphia team.
We may see the start of another era, Chuck, with this Philadelphia team. Start of the fourth quarter. Havlicek, Siegfried. Havlicek hits. Boston up by 5 points, 93-88. Matt Gukas, number 14. Gukas looking for Chamberlain. Tough shot by Gukas. Sam Jones. Good block by Lucius Jackson. Matt Gukas all the way, missed the layup. Havlicek, Jones, 3-on-2, back to Havlicek. Beautiful block, Chamberlain. Beautiful block, Chamberlain. Two great plays by Wilt Chamberlain. 3-on-1 break now for Philadelphia. Greer hits. All made possible by Chamberlain on that play, Chuck. Two great blocks by Wilt Chamberlain.
Chamberlain and Jackson have been powerful under those boards.
Greer hit. That was his 25th point. Boston now leading 93-90. Siegfried misses. Foul on Cunningham. Foul on Cunningham. That's Cunningham's 5th personal foul. He's not happy about that one. Siegfried will get 2 shots.
Neither is Coach Alex Hannum happy about that shot.
Philadelphia in a little foul difficulty. As I said before, Wally Jones with 5. Now Billy Cunningham with 5. And Philadelphia, most of the playoffs, playing with 7 men. May have to dip into his bench very shortly. Boston lead 94-90. Siegfried at the line. Siegfried trying for his 19th point today. Misses. Boston up 94-90. Ten and a half minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of this do-or-die game for the Boston Celtics. Cunningham. Havlicek. Bailey Howell. Chamberlain with the rebound. That's going to be a blocking foul on Larry Siegfried. That'll be Siegfried's 4th personal foul. Hal Greer be going to the line. Philadelphia now down by only 4 points early in the 4th quarter. Hal Greer having had a great year and a great playoff series so far. Hits. Boston leads 94-91. Greer's 26th point. Bill Russell. A blocking foul on Gukas, number 14 of Philadelphia. That's Gukas' 1st personal foul and the team's 2nd. Sam Jones to the line. Sam with 23 points so far today.
Boston is only 6 of 14 foul shots, Chet, in the 2nd half. If they'd been shooting their fouls better, they'd been well ahead by now.
Boston lead at 4 points, 95-91. Matt Gukas, number 14, looking for Chamberlain. Sam Jones with the rebound. Siegfried to Sam. Sam hits. Boston up by 6, 97-91. Is Hal Greer, number 15. Chamberlain. Billy Cunningham. No good. Russell with the rebound. Sam Jones. Lucius Jackson. Long pass to Cunningham. There's Chamberlain. No basket. No basket. Going to be a foul on Sam Jones before the shot. Chamberlain will be going to the foul line. That's Sam's. There's Sam. It's his third personal foul. Wilt Chamberlain. 15 points so far today for Wilt. Boston ahead 97-91. No good. Boston with the ball. Havlicek steals it. Siegfried. Havlicek hits for Boston. Boston up by 8 points, 99-91.
That was Havlicek's 25th point, Chet. He's played a great game today.
That's going to be a foul on Bill Russell holding Chamberlain. That's Russell's fourth personal foul. We've played 3.5 minutes so far in the fourth quarter. Chamberlain to the foul line again. Chet Walker in the game. Chamberlain misses, gets his own rebound, no good. Chamberlain was over the line. Too fast on that play. Basket no good. Boston leading by 8 points. 99-91. Sam up the middle. Boston up by 10 points. Sam Jones 28 points, puts Boston ahead 101-91. What a block by Russell! What a block by Bill Russell on Chamberlain's dunk shot. Incredible.
Here at VMI, we were asked to try the Norelco Advantage for 21 days. There was quiet dissension.
Sports Center style. Sports Center flashback. Tomorrow at 10, only on ESPN Classic.
This is ESPN Classic.
Lucius Jackson, number 54. Kukas, 14. Foul by Siegfried. That's Siegfried's fifth personal foul. Quite a few Boston players now in foul trouble. Howell with 5 personal fouls. Russell with 4. Siegfried with 5. Matt Dukas shooting 1 for Boston. Boston leading 103-97. Havlicek. Offensive foul, Havlicek. Havlicek's 4th personal foul. Chet Walker seems to be hurt underneath the Philadelphia basket, and here comes Alex Hannum. There's Chet. Probably got an elbow in the face.
He's cut inside his mouth, Chet.
That's Chet Walker of Philadelphia. With approximately 6 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in this Eastern Division playoff game. The Celtics leading 103-97. Chet Walker, you're looking at right now. So far in the game, Chet 15 points and 5 rebounds. He looks to be all right. It'll be Philadelphia ball. Boston ahead by 6. On the comparison today, Bill Russell 7 points, 23 rebounds so far. Chamberlain 16 points and 18 rebounds. Kukas, Philadelphia. And the basket is then good, followed up by Chamberlain. Russell almost blocked that pass right into the basket. But Chamberlain followed it up, and now Boston's behind. Boston is leading Philadelphia 103-99. Chamberlain foul. Sam Jones back in the game, replacing Larry Siegfried.
Chet, I wouldn't be surprised to see Alex Hannum come back with Wally Jones soon. There's just not that much time remaining, and I think he'll want to get his high-scoring guard back into the game.
Wilt cuts the Boston lead to 3 points with 6 minutes remaining. 103-100. Sam Jones with the ball, number 24. Offensive foul on Russell. That's Russell's 5th personal foul. Boston now in foul trouble with Russell 5 personals, Bailey Howell 5 personals, and Siegfried with 5 personal fouls.
The full court press we talked about, Chet, paid off.
5-second call on Hal Greer. Didn't get that ball in time. It'll be Boston's ball. Sam Jones. Russell. Blocked by Chamberlain. A great block by Chamberlain. Here's Gukas on a break. Greer hits. It's 1 point. Boston 103, Philadelphia 102. Havlicek. Chamberlain with the rebound. Philadelphia now behind by 1 point. 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. A do-or-die game for Boston. They must win. Walker foul. That foul was on, I think, Bailey Howell, and that's Howell's 6th personal foul. That's Howell's 6th personal foul. He'll be out of the ball game. Bailey had 15 points today and 9 rebounds, replaced by Don Nelson. There goes Bailey out of the ball game. Chet Walker at the line for 2 shots, a chance to put Philadelphia ahead. Tie game, 103-103. 4:45 remaining. Nelson with the rebound. A tie ball game, 4:45 remaining. 103-103. Foul on Jackson. Lucius's 3rd personal foul. Havlicek going to the line.
Boy, Chet, has Philadelphia battled back. They have never led in this ball game. Boston ran off a quick string right at the top of the game, and Philadelphia has never led. Never even tied.
And they're doing it with the great Wally Jones, who's had such a fine series so far on the bench with 5 personal fouls. Matt Gukas has been doing a fine job, a rookie from St. Joe's. Fine job replacing Wally in the backcourt. Boston now back in the lead by 2 points, 105-103. Lucius Jackson to Hal Greer. Hal looking for Chamberlain. Chamberlain's got it. Back to Greer. Long shot by Greer was short, but it was lost underneath. It'll be Philadelphia's ball again.
4.5 minutes left in the game.
Philadelphia ball. Back to Greer. Short, Russell with the rebound. Havlicek. Boston leading by 2 points. Havlicek puts Boston up 107-103. Havlicek's 29th point. Chet Walker to Gukas. Chamberlain. Beautiful tap in by Lucius Jackson. Basket is good, and Lucius is fouled on that play. Great follow-up shot by Lucius Jackson, number 54 of Philadelphia. Foul on the play. Boston leading 107-105. Foul was on Don Nelson. Philadelphia in the penalty situation. Excuse me, Chuck.
Just going to say that it's Jackson's best game in the playoff series by far. He really has carried Philadelphia today here. Not only offensively, but off the defensive backboard.
Philadelphia in a penalty situation. Jackson hits. That's Jackson's 25th point, cutting the Boston lead to 1 point. Boston leading 107-106 with 3 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. Chamberlain to Gukas. Gukas puts Philadelphia ahead, 108-107. 3.5 minutes remaining. Sam Jones, no good. Chamberlain with the rebound. Chet Walker to Greer. Gukas. The rookie from St. Joe hits again. Philadelphia now up by 3 points, 110-107. Russell hits. 3 minutes remaining, 110-109. Boston must win this game to stay alive in the Eastern Division playoffs.
Boy, what poise by that Gukas, Chet. 2 baskets right in a row in a tough situation like this.
2:45 remaining. Greer with the ball. Sam Jones with the rebound. To K.C. Jones. Nelson. What a ball game. Boston back in the lead. 111-110. 2.5 minutes remaining. What a ball game here. There's timeout here at the Boston Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. With the score, Boston 111, Philadelphia 110.
Is ESPN Classic.
Chuck Howard speaking for myself and Chet Forty, and there you see the story. Boston with the slimmest of margins, 1 point in a game they must have. They're down 3-0 in this best-of-7 series, and this may be the end of an era, the Boston era. They must win this game. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left in the game.
Boston leading by 1 point, 111-110. A must game for the Boston Celtics. The winner, of course, Chuck, of the Eastern Division playoffs will face the winner of the Western Division playoffs. Right now, a series, of course, going on between the St. Louis Hawks and the San Francisco Warriors, standing at 2 games apiece.
Chet, to combat the muscle, the Philadelphia muscle of Chamberlain and Jackson under the boards, I noticed that Bill Russell has inserted Wayne Embry in the lineup in addition to himself, so the 2 of them are now in the game. First time that's happened in this game, and it's a very rare sight to see. Embry and Russell both in the game at the same time.
2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the ball game. Boston ahead, 111-110. Philadelphia will have possession. Chet Walker will take the ball in.
Tremendous tension here.
Hal Greer.
Russell is guarding Jackson, Chet.
Beautiful shot by Jackson, putting Philadelphia ahead by 1 point, 112-111. Jackson's 27th point. 2 minutes remaining. Sam Jones. Siegfried gets it. Havlicek. Havlicek hits. Boston back in the lead, 113-112. A minute and 45 seconds remaining.
That was Havlicek's 31st point, Chet. He's too much.
Chet Walker on a drive. Walker's foul. Foul on Embry. Philadelphia's in the penalty situation.
1 minute, 40 seconds left.
He'll get 3 shots, Walker. Walker will get 3 shots to make 2. That ties the ball game up, 113-113. Walker hits it. Philadelphia's in the lead. 114 to 113. A minute and a half remaining. Siegfried. Bill Russell. Siegfried all alone. Beautiful pass. Beautiful pass to Embry. Boston leads by 1. Minute and 15 seconds remaining. Boston Celtics up by 1 point. 115 to 114. Matt Gukas. Lucius Jackson. Jackson again. Chamberlain. Out of bounds. It's going to be Philadelphia ball. Off Sam Jones' leg. 1 minute remaining. Boston leading by 1 point. 115, 114. Alex Hannum's calling for a timeout for Philadelphia. There's timeout here at the Boston Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, with the score Boston 115, Philadelphia 114.
This is how hundreds of thousands of smokers have quit. It's the gradual step-down method, and you get it only...
This is ESPN Classic.
This is ESPN Classic.
We're back at the Boston Garden with 1 minute remaining in this 4th game of a 7-game series for the Eastern Division Playoff Championship. Philadelphia leading 3-0. Boston is leading 115 to 114. Alex Hannum has called over referee Richie Powers. I don't seem to know what the problem is over there.
Somebody threw something, Chet, that is completely out of the ordinary. I really don't know what it is myself, but it's not an orange or a peanut. They called him over to show how dangerous it was. I believe it was a firecracker that had been lit, thrown, and the fuse went out before the firecracker actually went off.
Boston leading by 1 point. 1 minute remaining. 115 to 114. Quickly, the scoring for Boston so far. Havlicek 31, Sam Jones 28, Siegfried 18. For Philadelphia, Jackson 27, Greer 28, Chamberlain 20, Walker 18.
Hard to really imagine, Chet, or to put into words what must be going through a man like Bill Russell's mind. For years, he's been the hub of this successful team, his first year as a coach, and now he stands 1 minute away in a 1-point ball game from his team being ousted from the playoffs.
Matt Gukas will bring it in. Walker. Blocked by Russell. Jackson got that rebound, but he was out of bounds. It'll be Boston ball.
This is a key one, Chad. If Boston can get a hoop right now and go up by 3, they'll be in good shape.
50 seconds remaining. Bill Russell, Siegfried. 115, 114. Boston leading by 1 point. Havlicek. Embry. Sam Jones gets it. 30 seconds remaining. Boston leading by 1 point. Sam hits it. Big bucket by Sam Jones, putting Boston ahead by 3 points. Jackson lost it. Sam Jones. Foul by Gukas. Little fight going on there. Everybody's on the court. Here we go. Everybody's on the court. Chamberlain in the middle right there. Trying to separate Sam Jones from Gukas. Actually a good foul on Gukas' part. Sam would have had an easy layup.
Very intelligent play by Gukas, Chad.
Boston leading 117, 114. It'll be a while before we get all these people off the court. 20 seconds remaining. Boston leading by 3 points. Russell and Chamberlain, you see there. Chamberlain trying to act the role of a peacemaker here.
There's never been any love lost between these two teams anyway, Chet. There's no reason why it should start right now.
Well, it looks like there'll be a fifth game, and there he is, Sam Jones. Hit the key basket. That was Sam's 30th point. And then stole a pass and was fouled.
Sam and Havlicek have done the job for him, Chet.
They needed the big game from Sam today, and they got it.
He's hit 13 out of 25 shots, Chet, from the floor, more than 50%. That's the shooting they didn't have in those first 3 games.
117 to 114. 15 seconds remaining. Sam Jones to the foul line. Chuck, if there's any possibility of a 7th game in this series, we may bring it to the public on Friday night if it does go 7 games. But right now, Boston trying to win their first game in this series. Boston by 4. 15 seconds remaining. Boston by 5. 15 seconds remaining. Looks like there'll be a 5th game in this series, and that'll be in Philadelphia on Tuesday night. If there's a 6th game, that'll be in Boston on Wednesday. And then the possibility of a 7th game Friday night. And ABC television will try to bring that one to them if it goes 7 games. Right now, 15 seconds remaining. Boston ahead by 5 points. Gukas foul. Gukas foul by Siegfried.
That's Siegfried's 6th foul, Chet.
That's Siegfried's 6th. He's out of the ball game. Larry had 18 points today. Sam Jones back in the ball game for Boston. Chuck, we got to say this boy here, Matt Gukas, played a fine ball game today for Philadelphia, replacing Wally Jones.
Tremendous poise under this pressure, Chet.
Made a lot of key baskets today. Matt Gukas, number 14. Gukas scored all of his points in the second half. He's got 11 so far in the ball game. Boston now leading by 4 points, 119 to 115. Gukas will get another shot. 15 seconds remaining in the ball game. Good basket, great play. 119 to 117, 2 points. Russell, 10 seconds remaining. Russell's fouled by Chamberlain. Great play there by Gukas. Certainly set up by the Philadelphia coach, Alex Hannum. Great thinking on Alex's part. As long as he hits the backboard and the rim, Lucius Jackson barreled in there for the rebound, got it and scored. Now it's a 2-point margin for Boston with 10 seconds remaining. Bill Russell.
He'll have 3 chances, Chet, to make these 2.
Boy, it's not over yet. 119, 117. Three-point lead, 10 seconds to go. Beautiful block by Russell at the buzzer. And Boston has beaten Philadelphia 121 to 117.
So the Celtics win this game, but the Sixers would win the East in 5 games, and most importantly, they win the NBA Finals in 6 games over Wilt's former team, the San Francisco Warriors, who had Nate Thurman and Rick Barry. And Wilt takes the championship for Ed Carter home to Philadelphia, and so finally Philadelphia has that championship figure. The kid from Overbrook High has his ring and can stand up and say, I'm a winner.
And he was a winner. And he would have been a winner sooner. But what happens with all big-time scores, coaches put a tremendous amount of pressure on them to produce and produce offensively. Once the big guy got offensive players around him, all of a sudden those numbers offensively dropped. He only averaged 24 points a game, but yet he got 24 rebounds a game. Other guys scored. He was able to, as Russell was able to, with that supporting cast, win himself a title.
He would later say Alex Hannum was the coach who was able to convince him to modify his game like that. Alex, who coached the Warriors, of course, then went back and beat them for the championship with Wilt, was able to convince him to modify his game.
And convince him so why Wilt's coachable. He wanted to win. He wanted to do whatever's necessary to go out there and win, but at the same time, he was surrounded by players that couldn't score. He had to carry the offensive load. When he recognized there was offensive players out there with him, he turned and loosed the ball and let them play with it.
And Wilt saving the energy, not having to score, leaves him more energy to block shots, to pass, do everything else.
And that's scary if you got energy to block shots.
Okay. We have so much more to come as we continue on a Giant legacy, including a real treat coming up in a little bit, the 1972 All-Star Game. We will continue. Fred Carter, Bob Lee on ESPN Classic.
NHL Classic. At 8, a heavyweight title fight. And at 9, college basketball classics. Do you have all the ESPN networks?
We continue with a Giant legacy, ESPN Classic 7-hour tribute to Wilt Chamberlain, the man who single-handedly rewrote the NBA record book. Looking ahead next, we've got Up Close with Roy Firestone in conversation, and an episode of Vintage NBA with Robin Roberts, classic sport legends taking a look at Wilt, and then a real treat, the 72 All-Star Game with Jerry West and Walt Frazier and Wilt, many of the all-time top 50 in their prime. We continue now on ESPN Classic with a special Up Close, Roy Firestone in conversation with Wilt.
You could ask Wilt Chamberlain to do any facet of the game, whether it's passing, rebounding, blocking shots, or what have you, and I believe I could do it as well as anybody or better. I enjoy what God gave me in a physical sense, and you know, I'm just amazed sometimes at how people treat me. People view you in a certain way, and because you're a foot taller or so than the average guy, to them that foot sometimes is 5 or 6.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Roy Firestone, and this is an up-close primetime retrospective. For most of his career, Wilt Chamberlain was the most dominating force in the history of basketball. For most of his career, he was the all-time leading scorer in the game. For all time, he is the most unforgettable force the game has ever known. Tonight, a retrospective on the late Wilt Chamberlain.
An extraordinary man in an ordinary world. Can you reflect on that for a few moments?
Well, I believe that the world is extraordinary, you know, and I'm really pretty ordinary. But it's how people view you, you know. One of the things that always bothered me was people always wondered, well, where do you sleep? How big is the bed that you sleep in? You know, it never bothered me. It was pretty easy just to curl up and go to sleep. But people view you in a certain way, and because you're a foot taller or so than the average guy, to them that foot sometimes is 5 or 6. An old lady once asked me how tall I was, and I said 6'11". I was in high school at the time, and she said I just lied to her like she couldn't believe. She said, you got to be 9 feet tall. Well, people see you as being something much more than what I see myself as being.
Mm-hmm. You are a loner. You don't do this much. Why?
Well, because I'm really very content with myself. I'm happy about what I'm about. I don't need people to lean on. I enjoy people. I love them. I love to interact. But basically, I like to reflect, and I have to do that by myself. I'm very happy being alone.
Mm-hmm. Alex Hannum once said, a former coach of yours, it's now a famous phrase, nobody loves Goliath. Oh, Wilt Chamberlain, he was awed, he was admired, but he wasn't really loved. You agree with that?
Well, to a certain extent, yes. In most cases, I do. But I understand that more now at the age of 50 than I did probably at the age of 20. And one thing is that, I mean, it's hard to relate. It's hard for you, Roy, a mere 6-footer, to relate to, you know, a giant. You know, I mean, it's easy to want to be a Jerry West, you understand, or want to be, you know, someone a little bit more your own size. But it's hard to fathom what it's like to be 7 foot and ducking through doorways and saying, hey, you know, one day I'm going to be like that, you know, because it's just hard to be that way.
What were you like as a little kid?
As a little kid, I was a very ambitious, hard-working little kid. From the time I was like 4 years old, I always thought there was a great need to go out and work and to make money. I was goal-oriented even at that particular age.
Did you take on any of the people would imagine the abuse for being so tall? I don't know how tall you were in sixth grade. So.
Absolutely. In fact,
how bad was it?
It was really very, very bad. It was actually embarrassing. If it wasn't for having such a close-knit family and a lot of friends, I don't know how I would have really, it was quite traumatic.
How much hurt took its toll to a point where you didn't want to be around people? And obviously a point came where you said, to hell with this, I don't want to be a distant person. Well, I want to be in the midst of people.
Well, let me tell you how really it was. In fact, I stayed away from playing basketball earlier on in life because basketball was regarded as a game that tall people played. And I didn't want to be considered just a tall person doing something. So I was heavy in track and field, went to play a little football, anything to stay away from basketball because, you know, and I was razzed as a young kid in 7th grade, hey man, you're so tall, you should play basketball. And I only did it to appease those people who were razzing me.
Some of the statistics about you as an athlete, an all-around athlete, that people don't know this about you, a shot-putting champion, undefeated for long periods of time, bench press 500 pounds, a 50-inch vertical jump. By the way, what's Michael Jordan's vertical jump? Do we know?
I don't think it's quite that high.
Not as high.
No.
That people don't realize that they think, oh, it's all inherent in your height, and because of that, it should come easily to Wilt.
Some of it was inherent, like that vertical jump you're talking about, but a great deal of it, I worked very hard. I mean, I taught myself how to throw a shot, and I did it all by myself.
You ran track, you ran distance.
I ran track and field and so forth.
Did you have a Kansas record, a Big 8 record for a long time?
Well, yeah, I've had quite a few different type of records, but what I am most proud of was that I was innovative, even as a young person. I started lifting weights to build my body up back in junior high school when I was told and people were believing that weights were bad for anything dealing with games, football, whatever, you know. And now there isn't a program that doesn't have it.
You've always loved being big. I remember you told me once upon a time, you said, I'm glad as hell I'm 7 feet tall. I loved it.
God, I mean, can you imagine, I mean, you know, being, you know, shorter and getting on elevators and being around people's armpits and things like that? No, you're right. I enjoy what God gave me in a physical sense, and, you know, I'm just amazed sometimes at how people treat it.
I have never met an athlete, the magnitude of his, by the way, who is as easy with himself as Wilt Chamberlain. Why is it so easy for you to be Wilt? It may sound like a silly question, but it isn't so silly. There are a lot of guys who aren't easy with themselves.
Well, I think because so much focus had been on me for most of my life. Remember, I started in junior high school. It wasn't the thing to be black and skinny and 7 foot tall back
I guess
in
not.
You know, I mean, it just really wasn't. And I was bashful, I was shy, but I had that family and friends to fall back on. And as I've grown and to realize it really is God's gift to have a body my size and the ability to use the body and have an outlet for it, like the game of basketball. You know, I owe almost everything I have in a monetary way and a lot of other ways to the game of basketball. And as I said to you a little earlier, I am a private person, but I really love people.
When we return,
I'm prideful, not egotistical in what I'm about to say here. I was the interview in basketball at that particular time. They used me to help to be a vehicle to carry basketball around the world.
As Up Close Primetime continues.
This is ESPN Classic.
Welcome back to our Up Close Primetime retrospective on the late Wilt Chamberlain. I'm Roy Firestone. We did several interviews with Wilt. He was always controversial, always unforgettable.
Were you a rotten guy as a player, honestly? Were you not a very nice guy?
I tell you what, I was a very nice guy.
You were?
Yeah, unfortunately, I was too nice. I have some close friends of mine who told me a number of times, Wilt, go up there and break Bill Russell's hand. You know, stop being so nice to these guys. You could destroy them. And because I was maybe a nice guy, I shot the fadeaway and didn't do some of the things that, like Shaquille O'Neal's now doing. So I was a nice guy.
Which we'll get to in a moment. But I give you one not-so-nice moment, or so they say. Bill Libby, who did one of the books that was written about you, one of the hundreds of books written about you, say you used to be in that locker room, Laker locker room, and you used to have an egg timer. Right? Now, I don't know if this is true. You'd turn over the egg timer, and it'd be like 3 minutes, and say, y'all got 3 minutes, I'm timing you. Or you'd have it by your watch. This is as much time as you got. go. They asked the questions, even if you were in the middle of an answer and that 3 minutes were up, you were out of there. That's not so nice.
That's right. Okay, let me say something to you. You know who Paul Bunyan was?
Yes.
And the stories that, you know, right. Here you go, here you go. An egg timer. I couldn't afford an egg timer. What is an egg timer? I mean, I said,
you never timed the interviews by your wife?
Never in my life. In fact, I was the interview. I mean, you know, I'm prideful, not egotistical in what I'm about to say here. I was the interview in basketball at that particular time. They used me to help to be a vehicle to carry basketball around the world.
You were Jordan before Jordan. Yes?
Yeah, well, you know, I don't even like to say Jordan before Jordan because Jordan, you know, Jordan's come behind a whole lot of us as far as I'm concerned. But I was the guy who helped to bring basketball to China, to Russia, and to whatever. And interviews came to me all the time.
I want to know what happened when Sports Illustrated had to look back at 40 years of the most important people in sports, right? In all of those years. And nowhere on that list, nowhere on that list is Wilt Chamberlain. What happened? What could they have been thinking about?
You know, they put erasers on pencils because people make mistakes, you know. That was a huge mistake by Sports Illustrated.
Did it hurt?
You know what? I'll tell you something. Believe me, if you will. I never read it. All my friends like yourself have told me about it. I know that let me say this about SI. They've always never been a big Wilt Chamberlain, let's say, fan. When Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points in the New York Knicks, I don't think SI gave me that much space. I wasn't on the cover of the next
But no one
week.
Was there that night. There was no video, there was no TV.
It was still done, though. It was still done.
Can you believe that one of the greatest feats, maybe the greatest feat in sports history, he scores 100 points in Hershey, Pennsylvania in one game. There's no camera there. There's no video highlights.
But we're talking about SI addressing it, which does everything every week. You know, usually when you do something great, you make the cover of the next week.
Were you as great as you were because of the time, or would you be as great now? I mean, there's 15 7-footers now. There were 3 in your era, or 2 in your era.
I disagree with you there. I think it was a lot of big guys when I played. Guys who weighed more than I did. A few guys taller than I was. A lot of 7-footers. But today the guys are much more athletic. But I think sometimes when you have all that going for you in your body, how is your head? I watch Kareem out there now. I think the center position has suffered. I think they have lousy centers right now. There are 2 or 3 who are any good. The rest of them couldn't make Overbrook High School.
And you still talk about Kareem as the guy that just doesn't do it for the rebounds. I don't know how much of that is needle. I don't know.
Well, some of it's needle, but he can still go out there and do it scoring-wise on these guys who, you know, should be killing him.
What did Kareem do better than you that you will acknowledge? Because he's going to see this now. What did he do that was better than you?
In the facets of the game, you mean, did he score better than I did? Did he rebound better than I did? Did he pass better than I did? Did he run better than I did? Did he, you know, hard for me to figure out. I mean, he shot a hook shot better than I did. I mean, for absolute sure. But, you know, Kareem was also, Roy, a different type of basketball player than I was. I would have also loved to have had a chance to play against Kareem when I was scoring 50 points a game.
Would you, if you could have an idyllic situation, hypothetically, would you like to play some backyard one-on-one if you guys were both in your prime? Wouldn't that have been a great thing? How would it have been a backyard one-on-one?
I'm too strong for Kareem. And if you're going to go one-on-one, you take it to the basket. You can't forget, Roy, that basketball is a team concept game. And I said to you once before, and I'll say it to you again. Sometimes maybe my individual talents were a little too overpowering for a team concept. You understand?
That's good.
And maybe Kareem's wasn't.
The other guy that you're most associated with and always have been, it's something you almost don't even want to talk about anymore, but I'm going to bring it up anyway, is Bill Russell. You guys were once upon a time very, very close, but all of that stuff, all that baggage added up, and it split you guys apart.
I would think that there is a little bit of a myth involved. We were very, very close at one time, and Russell had some statements to make after he got out of basketball that I think were somewhat unkind to me.
Like?
Like that when I came out of the game, which was the 7th game against Boston in L.A. with a knee problem. I tore apart my Achilles tendon, and he said at some type of a speech that he would have never left the game unless sort of a broken back, something like that, you know. But then he apologized a few years later on, but never to me, but through the press or what have you.
The truth is, you and Russell are really close these days. I mean, you're spending a lot of time because of a commercial you did a couple of years ago.
Right.
What's Russell like these days? What's your relationship?
Russell is one of the more
he's like so funny and he's so warm and so misunderstood, which he doesn't even care about, because he is his own man.
The media thinks he's an angry, and I'll use the word, they think he's a racist, a black racist. Now that's what a lot of the media thinks.
Well, first of all, if you came along in the period of time that Russ did, you know, and I did, you may have a lot of reasons to be angry.
I'm sure.
You understand?
But you were not as angry as he.
Well, you know, I'm different than he is, and he's dealing with it maybe in a different way.
He played in Boston, which was not one of the more open
right.
towns.
I didn't want to say that, you understand? But you know, there's a lot of reasons why you might be whatever. It may be pretty tough if you are the backbone of a team, and they vote for a guy named Bob Cousy to be the best basketball player of the 50 years.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons why he may be feeling the way he is.
We'll come back with more after this.
The 60s were a time of strong emotions and social change, and the music spoke.
Give me a head with hair. Long, beautiful ESPN Classic.
Welcome back to Up Close Primetime. I'm Roy Firestone. Our retrospective tonight with the late Wilt Chamberlain.
There is a lot of myth and legend associated with Wilt Chamberlain, as you might imagine, and sex. How much of that is true? Are you
100% of it.
super stud? I mean, what is that? Come on. I mean,
no, super stud is in one's imagination. I just want to be satisfying. The right ass, but satisfying. I want to be able to satisfy.
The perfect woman is, for you?
One who is intelligent, one who laughs a lot at herself and other people, one who enjoys a great deal of sex and can really cook.
I'm going to talk openly about this.
Sure.
When did sexual conquests become, well, they think I have to because I'm Wilt, therefore I must?
Yeah.
Did it become that?
Well, first of all, let's say one thing. It was never a conquest. It was a mutual consentment where, you know, our minds both wanted something and our bodies did it. Understand? But I never look upon it as a conquest. It was the enjoyment of a sexual encounter. I mean, many of these ladies are today's friends. And, you know, this is...
How many names could you remember, Wilt?
I could remember maybe 15,000. And all the names that I would see, I would remember them. I have...
No one-night stands in there?
No, well, we didn't say that. We didn't say that. Maybe even a 1 hour stand. I mean, one night stand, just a bit much one night.
Let me ask it to you this way. This is probably going to, people are, oh, come on, get off this stuff. But I want to, because this is people's curiosity. This is the fantasy that a lot of people... What do you think it's like to be with Wilt for a night?
Well, you know, first of all, that's you know, something that I think people even want to talk to Wilt or whatever. But let me just clear one thing up. For me not to have mentioned, let's say, the number in my book would have been ludicrous.
Not to have mentioned?
Yeah, not to have mentioned would have been ludicrous. To be involved with maybe 20,000 or so ladies consumed as much of my time as my whole basketball career.
Right.
If I had left my basketball career out of the book, I might as well have left this number. I used the number only to explain to people just how involved I was. If I said I had a lot of ladies, what would that really mean? If I told you I scored a lot of points while I played basketball, it may be, you know, 15 points a game, 10 points a game. If I, you know, you got to give some numbers, let people understand what you're talking about. So
data.
it wasn't
about data.
Right, we wasn't talking about in a braggadocious manner. We just talking about it in a fact so people can understand what a lot is. Only thing that I ever really felt sad about was a great many people missed a lot of good stuff in that book because they only stuck with the one subject.
How many times have you been tested for AIDS?
Oh, a number of times, but that doesn't make anybody safe or feel safe.
Have you felt the threat of it every time? You're a single man, and have, as we said, an appetite for this.
I don't think that any single man who is partaking doesn't feel the threat. Understand?
You believe in abstinence? Do you think it has its place?
You know, I can believe in it. I don't know how long I can sustain it. You understand? I'm probably more famous or infamous for that than the 100 points. What one was trying to do, though, is in using a figure of speech to bring attention to sexual situations that I was involved with without being really explicit, without calling names, and also leading to the latter part of that chapter. The chapter was Sex Rules the World. And I was trying to let people know that, yes, I was involved. And the last sentences of that chapter, I say that for all you men who think that having 1,000 different women is really cool, I have found out that having one woman 1,000 different times is really the way to go.
Do you feel you're a chauvinist? Do you feel you're even in this discussion is a bit sexist, all of it?
Well, it definitely is sexist. I don't feel I'm a chauvinist. I have 6 sisters, have a great deal of respect for women. I have enjoyed working with them in many aspects. I have been supportive of them in athletic endeavors.
If the truth be known, you have preferred to be around women more than men. I've seen you in the company of mostly women.
Absolutely, which have nothing to do with a sexual gratification. I just think that they've been shunned upon as many men of color and people my size, and whatever I can do to bring them certain recognition in areas, I try to.
And whatever you can do at other endeavors too, you try to as well.
When we return,
you are ultra-conservative. You supported Nixon. You have come under attack for that. Certainly, you take none of that back. I mean, that's the way
I would definitely do it again. Definitely do it again. Why? Still, because I believe very strongly at the time that Nixon was the best for our country.
As Up Close Primetime continues.
ESPN Classic.
Welcome back to Up Close Primetime. I'm Roy Firestone. Our retrospective tonight with the late Wilt Chamberlain.
Who are the most impressive people you've ever known in your life? Specifically, who are some of the most...
Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Robinson, because they were my heroes when I was a kid, and I got a chance to know them on a personal level as I grew up. Harry Belafonte, Richard Milhouse Nixon. Those are...
Well, give me specifically about Nixon. What's impressive about the man?
He had a great sense of knowing what to say and what needed to be done at the big time. And his foreign affair policy at that time, when the world was getting closer together, was second to none. But I always knew him as being a very humane and human person, that he never lost touch with simple things like he'd call a meeting, which I was involved in, and what he wanted to know in the meeting was, what do you think Michigan's going to do in the football game this weekend? So, but
did you know Malcolm X?
I had the pleasure of knowing Malcolm X, but not very. He worked in a restaurant that I owned called Small's Parties back in New York.
How about Martin Luther King? I
worked with Martin Luther King, and he would be also one of the people that I feel very strong about. I had a chance to march with him and do a lot of different things with him, and he touched my life greatly. And Arthur Ashe, you know, I even got to respect him a lot more when his situation came to light and how he handled it. And you know, he was a pioneer in so many ways. You know, and as a man of color in America, a lot of people back at the time when he was a tennis player, the people of color didn't have any great respect for Arthur Ashe because they knew nothing about tennis. They thought it was a sport for white people, and he was trying to be white or whatever. You know,
racial bitterness, you have very little, if any.
I have none, because I understand, I think, a lot of what racial, all that malarkey is all about. I've been lucky enough to see people come into love, and that's what it's all about.
One-liners again. What I'll never understand about life is
how people think that they can intrude upon your privacy at will just because they know your name.
What letting go of the mystique of Wilt Chamberlain meant in your life?
Well, letting go meant to open up and let people get inside of you and know more about you, so they can appreciate what you truly were and are.
Wilt is the Superman, Wilt is the mortal man. Who do you like more?
You know, I like me in both ways. I like being dominant and fast and strong, and you know.
Do you look back at that wistfully? Do you look back at that sadly, in some ways? I'll never be what I was those days.
I sure do. Every time I'm out there playing tennis or paddle tennis, and some little person's kicking my butt, and I can't get to the ball. Yeah, whoa! I would love to be back where I could show some of that strength.
Fill this one in a short answer. Basketball is too easy now because. Basketball is too easy now because.
Because people are not really demanding an athlete to be a true athlete out there. They'll accept anything. 5 rebounds, you're great. 10 points, you're great. 5 assists, you're fantastic.
What's the most money you ever made in a season?
$450,000 as a player, close to $1 million as a coach. I was a great coach.
What would you be worth in 1995?
Well, you know, I honestly, in 1995, they would have to probably, you know, say, Wilt, now, what part of the team do you want home? You know, I'm just saying, you know.
Wait a minute.
This is not ego again. This is pride. I believe it.
Shaquille O'Neal has earned $100 million in and out of the sport. In and out of the sport, okay? His teams have never won a single playoff game. What do you say?
I say that he is a genius.
We'll come back with more after this.
NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever, so you can rest and have a good morning medicine.
This is ESPN Classic.
The past is the mist. What's the general feeling of your past?
Well, I think the general feeling of my past is that, you know, they're not really sure about me, and that I really am very egocentric and a guy who is all into himself.
And?
The word ego, I think, is the wrong word. I'm prideful. So I like to use the word pride rather than ego. I'm happy with what I did and what I'm all about.
What would you like most to be associated with, remembered for the career, and for the myth and legend of Wilt Chamberlain?
Well, a big guy that had a lot of compassion. I want to be remembered for trying to give something back, from getting so much out of sports to just giving something back.
We hope you enjoyed our up-close primetime retrospective on the life and times of Wilt Chamberlain. The game had never seen a player like him before. They'll never see one like him again. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Up Close is a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Proud to be celebrating our 20th anniversary. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.
Wilt played 14 years in the league. Through much of that time, his was a complex relationship with fans. A lot of that had to do with numbers. After all, he scored 50 or more over 100 times. Free throw shooting problems, yeah, he was a 52% man, but he sent a single season game record 18 for 18 against the Bullets back in '67. Some folks said he couldn't pass, so one year he led the league in assists. That's Vintage Wilt. A giant legacy continues now with Vintage NBA. A look at Wilt Chamberlain, hosted by Robin Roberts.